Hello.
How's it going, Pharma Life family?
Hola.
Yet again, we are finishing the third retreat of the season of 2012, and it is the Living Yoga Retreat with Ellen Livingston.
And Billy
Yes,
Newmyer.
and Billy Newmyer. Yes, and Billy's a friend of ours from back a little ways, and we'll get into that story here in a little bit. But Ellen, tell us a little bit about your story getting into this alternative health movement, getting into raw foods. How did that all come about?
In my own health quest, a search for better health, my health wasn't doing so well in my 20s and 30s. I had a lot of problems that were just sort of slowing me down from the vibrancy I wanted to feel. And I wasn't getting much help from the medical world, and so I sought alternatives. And it was probably about a 20-year journey of health seeking before I discovered a raw food diet. And I was like the story you often hear of passionate raw fooders. It was an overnight aha moment where I stayed up all night to read my first raw food book, and the next day was calling up a coach and I was all raw. And I really didn't look back. It's not that I never made any mistakes after that, but I never went back because I started to get results right away. And my passion started to grow because I've been looking and searching for a long, long time. Yeah. And so this was a welcome relief that there was help out there for the things the doctors had said they couldn't do anything about except give drugs.
Did you go right into the 80-10-10 diet?
Actually, no. I didn't know about that for about another year and a half, and so I actually got rather scrawny at first because I was eating like a horse all day long, but I was eating the wrong things. I was eating mostly vegetables, and about a year and a half into my program, thankfully I met Dr. Douglas Graham and his wife Rosalind Graham, and they coached me back to a more full vibrancy. I got my body back. I started to learn how to eat fruits, and that got me more and more in touch with sort of the natural hygiene way, and bringing me feeling closer and closer to nature, wanting more and more things to be natural in my life. I subsequently got a divorce around that time and moved out on my own with my 3 kids who I was homeschooling, and I had an opportunity to bring them down to Costa Rica back in about 2006, I believe. So I had a 6-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 12-year-old. We were down here with Frederick Pattenode and his partner at the time, and they had just bought a retreat center, and we were able to spend 3 glorious weeks here, which were really life-altering for my kids and me.
Excellent.
And eating fruit all day and playing on the beaches and eating the coconuts, and my kids loved it, I loved it. We all felt like Costa Rica to us represented a kind of free and natural lifestyle that we all longed for and couldn't really get at home.
2006 is when Brian and I first came to Costa Rica.
Yeah, that was our honeymoon.
So we were here together.
Yes, we were. Didn't know it yet.
Well, I came back the year after. I believe it was the next year. I came back and fasted with Dr. Graham for a month, about an hour and a half from Finca de Vida in Rio Chirripó Retreat Center. I went to visit him. Billy and I just went to visit him this year. So I fasted there for a month, another life-transforming experience, just another step on my path toward greater and greater commitment to this lifestyle. I started running retreats at home in Michigan, and sort of one-day retreats, weekend retreats, always envisioning the day that I was going to lead a retreat in Costa Rica. And so it wasn't until a little bit later that I found out about Jody and Brian. I came back last year to visit Finca de Vida, which is when I met Billy, and we'll talk about that in a moment, and then I committed to leading this retreat here this year. So my passion really is not just to share the raw food lifestyle with people, but to share the natural living, just to be out in nature in this kind of environment, and living in this kind of vibrant way. And so retreat for me is like the culminating experience, because we can bring yoga, we can bring jiu-jitsu, we can bring Rumi poetry. We have all these talented people here on the retreat. We can bring it all together with people like Jody and Brian who are living the lifestyle and can just show us by example of what's possible, and we can all be totally immersed in it, having a great time, getting fit, eating great food, having a spiritual yoga experience, building community. All of those things can happen in a retreat like in no other kind of class I could teach. So the retreat's the ultimate way to really... I've had many clients tell me it wasn't until they came on a full week retreat, or at least a 4-day retreat, that everything began to click. They could read the books, hear my talks, get some coaching, but it didn't really fully click as a lifestyle they could embrace and understand until they came on a retreat. and lived it with the people who had walked the path ahead of them.
Right.
And could show them the way.
And the people that are here now, which they've had an amazing time, you basically have a yoga practice where you teach yoga in the Michigan area, right?
Yeah. In a yurt, the 30-foot yurt that Billy and I just put up in Michigan. So we have this beautiful round. It's about the same size as the one here at Finca de Vida, so that was really neat for me to.
Excellent.
And I have not
Similar
my Michigan
size.
yurt and
Our
my Costa
yoga
Rica
platform
region.
is a 30-foot diameter rancho with a thatched roof.
This one's open air looking out over the mountains, which is extra special.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you know, when we started Farm of Life, and Brian and I weren't living here yet, and construction was happening, and when construction finished, and we still had about 6 more months before we could move here, we needed a caretaker, someone to live on this farm and take care of it in our absence. And the universe brought us Billy, who was already very attached to this valley, and people, my neighbors were saying, Billy, take Billy as your caretaker, we love Billy. And then Billy moved in, and we met Billy. We loved Billy. We met Billy far before we met Ellen, other Billy.
He brought Caesar into our life, Billy. I'm indebted to him. Caesar's one of our dogs, and I'm very close with him. Of course, Billy is as well. So.
Caesar's our yoga dog. He's our yoga dog.
Yeah.
And being in raw food, we knew Ellen. We knew of Ellen. We hadn't met her yet. And then, like a year ago, we started getting emails from you and from you, sort of saying, "What do you know about this person?" That's awesome.
Serendipity's amazing.
That's awesome. Such a small
Want to
world.
tell them how we met?
Yeah.
Well, we met online. We met on a site called Green Singles, and I put out a couple keywords, Costa Rica, and put it out through the entire United States. 8 or 9 ladies came up. There was only one that I was interested in.
Thankfully, I had put Costa Rica in my profile, just saying that I loved this country.
And we started corresponding, and within a few emails, we realized that she had actually potentially was going to help with a retreat here last year as a yoga teacher.
Dr. Sam's retreat, yeah.
I was going to come down anyway on vacation, and we had just had really nice simpatico in the way we viewed life. We loved writing to each other. We got to that point where you have a phone conversation. That went well, and we decided to take a chance, and our first meeting was down here at the San Jose airport in Costa Rica.
Amazing.
We figured if it would work, if it worked, great. If it didn't, then we'd have a lot of fun anyway.
Billy had rented us a little cabin where we're staying again this year that a friend of ours down the hill owns, a horse farmer, and my friends all told me, "You're doing what? You're going to stay in a cabin with some guy you've never met from Colorado? How many bedrooms are there?" And I just didn't worry about it. I just figured, you know, we both had friends here, and it felt meant to be, and whatever, we were going to have a friendship of some sort at any rate. We both knew that.
It's developed into a little bit more than that.
Absolutely.
So we're back in our valley again, back in our
Happy ever after
again.
right here now. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Making plans, laying plans for how we're going to spend time here every year in the winter. And, we love our Michigan home in the nice weather there, and we now have a Costa Rica home together. So.
Absolutely. The Farm of Life. New extended members of the Farm of Life family. Billy and Ellen Livingston. But tell us, before we wrap things up, tell us how, like the retreat. Like, how did it go? Like, what things did you do? And what things happened here this week?
We got a whopping 16 people to come down here with
Yes.
us. That's how extraordinary this place is. They saw Jody and Brian's website, and most of them knew me, and they put the two together and
They
figured
know
this
Ellen.
was going to be a good fit. Some of them knew Billy already. Now they all know Billy.
This is the biggest retreat we've ever done, and it's gone really perfectly, so we're really excited about
Well,
that.
I was excited to have Billy along as kind of a Costa Rica expert tour guide, along with being a phenomenal athlete, to be able to bound up the waterfalls with people. He knows the area and has a passion for it that everybody picks up on when they spend time with him on the trails. So I sort of turned that aspect of it over to Billy, and we've got an amazing couple of chefs in the kitchen, Chris Kendall and Karine Ionesco. So they make an awesome, fun team in the kitchen, and Jody and Brian as hosts, and there wasn't much left for me to do, so I just show up and teach yoga every morning, and I offer some coaching in the afternoons,
Great
a few
classes.
times of the week, that helps people gain some personal insight along their journey, so that along with the inspiration and the food learning they're getting here, they also have a chance to look within at what it is they really, really want out of their lives, what might be holding them back a little bit, how to bust through some of that, and then today our final coaching session will be looking at who they need to be able to step into the life they want to have, and how they're going to get the support, and how to set the intentions so they too can create the kind of life of intention that they really, really want. And I don't know if Billy might want to speak to some of the fear busting that went on our Diamante trip yesterday.
Couple things really fun. We hiked up Diamante Falls, which is the highest waterfall in Costa Rica. Our group is not the most physically fit group on the planet, but they had a lot of chutzpah. They really wanted to tackle things, and so they went after this hike. The hike was difficult, but beautiful. We got up this one waterfall up at the very top, and it was about a 25-foot jump into a big swimming hole up there. And a couple ladies went off first, put the pressure on us guys to step up. None of us guys are really big. I love speed. I'm not a big fan of heights. And then one woman went up there, Nazreen. She's probably in her, whatever.
40s.
Yeah. And she doesn't swim. And she was desperately wanting to go off this thing. She was just alive with wanting to go off this. And you could just see her trying to push through her envelope, She knew she was going to do it. She had fear, but she knew she was going to do it. And finally, she got to the edge a couple times. She said, "Okay, Hank, just push me."
Make me do it.
And so she got a little nudge, and then she went, not swimming at all, into this deep pool. And our guide, Jesse Chapman, wonderful young man, was there to, look for her down there, bring her up. She came up all smiles, all giggles, and just loved it. We men knew at that point that we needed to step up because we could swim. And so she got me off there. And then another lady. We have some national world champions here, and she is a world champion Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. But not a big fan of heights. And she was one of the last people to get up there. And she remembered something that Ellen shared the day before about one way to change our life is just to simply rewrite our story. We're caught in the same story. And that came through her head, to rewrite her story. She said, I just need to rewrite my story. And she stepped up there, and off she went. It was beautiful. It was so sweet to hear that she picked up on a piece of teaching that quickly. And it made it. She came up all smiles too. It was really wonderful.
So everybody was high that night. They came back very high in transformation and just courage and
simple things, but you take it out into
stepping out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's what
I
this
think
retreat's about.
Ellen, as a retreat facilitator, you've done a wonderful job creating unity in your group. And a lot of people have opened up and shared in the circle settings. And one of the first nights, everyone had 3 minutes. There's so many of us, we only got 3 minutes. So sort of tell, what brought us this far in our lives with raw food. And I think that really opened up the group to really know one another really quick. And then your coaching sessions too, I hear there have been some openings as well. So that's it's wonderful because the group environment, this is our last day, and you can see already how cohesive this group is. And they've only been together for a week.
People need that in order to make it on this stepping out of the box raw food journey. You need community. So my retreats are big on creating personal insight and community that comes from sharing those insights and sharing our path together. It's a safe, I feel, it's a safe and friendly place to do that. And so people will go home with new friendships, new insights, and new courage, I hope. So.
Yeah. Yep, that's why we keep our business kind of small, so it's nice and intimate. So, within the first 48 hours, everything just becomes a big family unit. Everyone just kind of joins in like a family.
Yeah, like Jody and Brian and the chefs are all part of the group. They're doing stuff. They're out there sweating and sharing with us. So that's a really
going
special
to yoga,
aspect.
going to the tours, and the meals.
Boy, we had 21 people at yoga this morning.
It was amazing. Yoga class was awesome. Really, really good.
Fun time.
Wow. All right, so you guys coming back?
Yeah, 2013. We don't have the exact date squared away, but it'll be January, February, somewhere in there. 2013, right here at Finca de Vida with Billy and I.
And Brian and I.
And Brian
That's
and Jody, and we'll have another awesome 7-day retreat.
Definitely. And
come.
It'll be up on our blog. Yeah, I mean, even if those of you have never done a class with Ellen, I can tell you it's really, really amazing and an amazing experience. So if any of you have that week next year off, or you've got some vacation time, sign up for Ellen's retreat.
And what about our other one? We got another little thing happening.
Yeah, I mean, it will be manifested next year, but any of you out there, and I know there's lots of you out there in this whole globe,
if you run, if you mountain bike,
that absolutely love to hike and mountain bike. You mountain bikers out there, you expert mountain bikers, this country is a challenge, and it will challenge you. And not only will it challenge you, though, you'll get to see all this beauty and some really good food here at the Farm of Life. So we'll have some, a nice small, 10 to 14 person, very intimate mountain biking retreat where we're just going to challenge everybody's physical bodies. So get ready for that. Stay tuned for that. That'll be coming on our blog. Yep, tune up your bikes, everybody. Because Billy and I are going to sponsor that, and it's going to be an awesome retreat. And we're just
they know that Billy's a champion mountain bike rider.
Well, I tell you what,
the perfect leader.
This guy can flat out ride a mountain bike, so he's a perfect leader for this, and you guys are really going to enjoy it. So stay tuned for that.
How can people learn more about you guys online?
Our website is livingyoganow.com. Living livingyoganow.com, and we'll have a retreat, whatever you call it, tab there, so you can. There'll be a page about the Costa Rica retreat. As soon as we get home and have time, we'll be posting photos and videos from this retreat, so you can see what we're up to.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, Farmer Life family, thank you guys again.
Thanks.
Love ya. We'll see ya.
The older ones say melons alone, and otherwise they say melons go well with acidic and sometimes subacid.
Doug Graham serves melons with other high water fruit, but a mono meal is always a wonderful thing. So.
A little bit of the remnants from the last sauce I made. We'll put all these in there, and since we partially dehydrated it, we don't need quite as much sun-dried, and it makes a nice warm sauce, and it also makes it really thick, and it intensifies the flavor. So we have mostly tomatoes. These are the local organic ones from the market. You know, I've been talking about food combining geek. These are raisins, and technically acidic fruits like tomatoes and raisins or dates, stuff like that, don't really digest well together.
Acidic with the sweet.
Acidic with sweet. And you know, the first 5 years as 80-10-10, I didn't go outside food combining at all. I went 100% with proper food combining every single recipe. I wouldn't deviate unless I fell completely off track. In the last 3 years, I've developed a couple different recipes, tried to bend the rules a little bit and see them instead of as rules, as tools, tools for optimal digestion. So if you instead of looking at them as rules, you're looking at them as tools to fine-tune when you really need that, and otherwise little teeny things back and forth can usually go, but it's your body, you find out what really works best for you.
We have a lot of sauce. So if anyone likes it saucy, feel free to just totally put tons on.
Second project,
Beautiful.
we worked on the tree. But what we were talking about, what was important?
The good thing is they'll pass quickly.
How it germinates. Yes.
Relationships. Yeah.
What's going on, Chris Kendall?
We have one of the most delicious jackfruits ever picked, ever. We're sharing it at Ellen Livingston's retreat here, and we're just chopping
Flip
it
that
up.
over. Let me see the other side.
It's just beautiful.
Holy cow, look at your plates.
The plates are gorgeous.
You have jackfruit.
I know, it's a gorgeous plate.
The meme sapote and star apple.
Banana.
And banana. Wow, what a treat.
Best lunch ever.
What a treat.
The most colorful.
Or if he goes to push me, okay, again.
I like this.
And even just over my leg, I don't even have to squeeze my knees together.
You know, Jody
This is awesome.
Anything you want him to.
Jody wants to learn some of these moves.
And again, I can go for arm bar. If he starts to turn away, I can sneak the arm in again for the choke.
Oh, that would hurt.
Okay. So I come in, again, I'm using my hips under his hips.
Yep.
Boom. I bang him down.
Caesar to the rescue.
Snap his arm.
Man, they don't play around in this sport.